So I'm here in SaPa in North Vietnam, and in today's video, I'm going to go over how to take better travel images. Now to get to SaPa, I took a bus from Cat Ba to Hanoi and then waited around in Hanoi for an hour, and then took a nice sleeper bus from Hanoi to SaPa here. And sleeper buses are pretty cool. You have your own little cabin with a bed and everything. And it was a really nice drive to get here. We got to see the mountains and kind of go up into the hills here. So I really have no idea where I'm going here, but I am going up. If you want to go anywhere in SaPa, you've got to climb up. So it's kind of exhausting. So I'll go over the tip number one once I catch my breath here. So I was originally going to go shoot at that temple over there behind me, but unfortunately it seemed like they were having some sort of gathering or something. There was a lot of people there and kind of some music going on, so I decided not to interrupt. And also where I found here, it's like behind an abandoned building, there's a pretty nice view here. I might stay here for sunset, but I'm not too sure. I'll probably go back down to the lake where I anticipated on. But anyway, enough of the rambling. So tip number one, it's kind of an obvious one, but make sure you're photographing the local culture and local architecture as well. Like something that stands out here in SaPa, Vietnam would be the temple and the architecture of the temple, as well as a lot of the signs that are on a lot of the businesses and the hotels that are in Vietnamese, because those also speak for that location as well. So you want kind of elements in your photograph where someone can look at it and say, that's from this country. And also famous landmarks work really good as well. Then another tip would be, don't forget to focus on the little details. Now using a long lens really comes in handy when focusing on the details, because you can really isolate things. Like right now I'm just shooting the little corners of this temple. Definitely not the most dramatic images, but when showing travel images, it'll kind of help go with the other shots that I take here in SaPa, Vietnam. Because I don't have a good location, at least from this area, to get a nice big shot of the whole temple. And right now I'm just looking around for potential sunset images. And I maybe found a composition, but I'm not too sure. Not too sure what the light's gonna do over here. I think the light's gonna set behind the mountains, because we have the huge mountains kind of directly to the west. And I think Fancy Pan is the name of the largest peak here in Indochina. And it's kind of right where I'm looking. And it's pretty dramatic actually, but I think it will block the sun, like far before sunset, so I won't get any color in the sky. But there's no clouds anyway, so it really doesn't matter. And then another tip would just be to explore. Like I found this spot up here with this nice lookout of SaPa town all by myself, just by walking around and randomly finding it. And the more you walk around and explore, the more compositions and interesting things you'll be able to find. Also, Googling things is a great way, and looking at like the best locations to visit for photography in an area that you're going. Oh, there's a street dog. Hi, dog. Another one. Anyway, Googling works really well, but sometimes those spots can be overcrowded and over-photographed as well. So exploring can really help you find a unique spot to photograph. So I've decided to give up on shooting that viewpoint back there, and I walked down to the lake here. I think it's called SaPa Lake, Lake SaPa, something like that. It's the lake that's just in the middle of SaPa here, and you get some real nice reflections. And now we do have the nice mountains to the west with the town that might be worth shooting, or I tried this composition yesterday and I liked it, the temple kind of up on the back there towards the east. Luckily the lake's not too big, so I can kind of walk around it pretty quick, but we are losing light kind of fast because the sun's about to go behind the mountains, so I do kind of want to hurry. If I'm going to shoot to the east, I want the sun, but if I'm going to shoot to the west, I might not necessarily want the sun. Just because we have all these buildings there, which those will light up, and I should be able to get some nice reflection shots. Oh, and there's just mountains all over. This place is simply spectacular here. Now I just need to find a composition to shoot for this evening. Now, even though I did do 3 days of research kind of around this area, I'm still indecisive on a composition. So it will kind of be a last minute thing because there are no clouds in the sky today, as I mentioned earlier. So I'm not really sure what the light's gonna do. because without clouds it loses a lot of drama, but we do have the nice mountains and we have the town here, which I'm going to work with. So I've actually managed to find a composition I'm really happy with, and I'm gonna shoot it now even though it's about an hour before sunset, because we're getting some real nice dramatic light on the landscape here. So I'm gonna go over this composition real quick. I've got the town kind of in the lower half, and then the upper half will be the mountains. As you can see, I put that real predominant point kind of in the center that's in the background there, but I do need to add some filters to balance out this image. All right, so I'm adding a circular polarizer and also a graduated 3-stop medium ND filter. And as you can see, when I'm adding the graduated filter, I'm turning it diagonal just to kind of balance out those mountains there to the right, because they're really, really bright. All right, so it gives a little more balance to the scene. And I'm also adding a 6-stop ND filter, just so I can get a little bit of a longer exposure. So yep, I'm shooting at f16 ISO 64, and I'm dropping down to f16 so I can get a 13-second exposure. And the image is starting to look pretty decent. I'm just focusing right on the town because there's really nothing in my immediate foreground. And the sun's just really starting to kind of streak across the mountains there. And it's really looking nice on the town and the kind of mountains directly behind the town. And then another tip is to never neglect water. Water always adds interest because you can do reflections, long exposures, and just it adds interest to the scene. So if you ever shoot around water, especially with cityscapes, getting nice reflections with lights right at blue hour calls for some very interesting images. So I'm actually just packed up, and I'm gonna head to the other side of the lake now, because I do want to try to take that composition of the temple I was talking about earlier. And then another tip when traveling to get good images, which this one I kind of avoid a lot as well, but it's not to be afraid to spend the money to get into the popular attractions, and don't avoid the popular attractions. The popular attractions are popular for a reason, and you can get some real great images from them. Like yesterday I went to the famous Cat Village here at SaPa, and it was pretty touristy, but I was still able to get some pretty nice images from that experience. Then another super obvious tip would be make sure you're photographing during golden hour. That'll be right before sunset and right after sunrise. That's when the light is most balanced and not that harsh, and you get some really great pictures from that time. So literally once I got to my spot here, all the light disappeared from the temple, and now it's in a shadow because the sun went behind the mountains behind me to the west. But we are still getting some nice hues in the sky, so I am going to set up my tripod and still try and take an image. I don't think it's going to be as good as with the light from earlier, but I still might be able to get a nice blue hour shot, especially if some of the lights in front of the temple decide to come on. Then I might get a nice reflection from this side of the lake. I am taking some images. I'm not really happy with them. They're just looking real flat, and the hues in the sky, it's a little bit of purple right now, which is pretty nice, but it's not coming through just yet. But we still have 20 minutes until official sunset, so I am going to kind of keep waiting, and then maybe some of the lights will come on, and I'll be able to get a better image here. But right now it's turned out to be an okay image, but it's just really flat. So I'll go over my composition here really quick. It's a pretty simple composition, just pretty much in the center of the image I have the temple. The horizon line, which would be where the reflection point is on the lake, is about a little below half, and the top of the temple is also a little to the right of center. So it's not quite completely center, it's just a little bit off center, just to make it a little bit more visually pleasing. And yeah, nothing in the foreground, nothing in the background, just kind of the temple and the little city around it. And now I could zoom in more to kind of include only the temple, but I kind of like being zoomed out a bit. It gives a little bit of empty space on the bottom and top of the image, just giving it a little bit more room, because I don't want it too chaotic, and it kind of mellows out the image a little bit. Well, thank you for watching this video here in SaPa. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you later.